24th of December today, guys. Welcome back. Today we're going to look at trends. I got kind of a bunch of emails recently, and this always happens on different topics. Sometimes it's this and that, but this recent topic was about trends in the market. Now, obviously today is kind of family time and Christmas, but I did want to do this video first, share it with you guys, because one of my goals is to make sure that you guys are ready and that you get your best year 2018, but we need to prepare first. So let's jump on the chart and I'll show you guys exactly how I identify trends, 3 steps in a very simple way. Alright guys, there are going to be a couple of steps to identifying the trends in the market, and we first need to start with the time frame. Now a lot of people ask what's the best time frame to look at the trend, how should I go about it, should I look at all time frame? And the number one mistake here is going to be to look at all time frame. Like you go from the top to the monthly chart, go all the way to the 1 hour chart, and you try to get the perfect alignment. This perfect alignment is going to align very rarely. So you have to be careful to be enough restrictive to look only at the right trends, but not too restrictive, because if you look at too many trends, it's going to be counterproductive. So first thing first, what you need to identify is what is your style of trading. You trade intraday, you trade on a swing level, and that's going to help you know what time frame you should look at. And I recommend you go always higher on your time frame when you look at the chart. So if you have to trade, let's say the 4 hour chart, for example, go on a daily chart or the weekly chart to look at your trend. If you're going to trade intraday, so like the 15-minute chart, go on the 1 hour chart or the 4 hour chart. I just pick these time frames and I go like 1 or 2 higher to look at my trend. And that's going to give you better reliability trades, but without the need to look at all time frame, without the confusion that all time frame bring at the same time. So that's really important. Now, when it comes to looking at the time frame, I'll do 2 examples here. First of all, how I would look at the trend as a swing trader. And then second of all, how I would look at the trend as a day trader. Very different things, although the same principle applies. So we are right now on a weekly chart, and I'm going to assume that I trade the 4 hour chart. Okay, that's the chart that I would like to trade. It's kind of easy to trade. I'm on AUDJPY. I could pick any pair. It's just pick that one because it's the first that opened, but we could go with like anything you want. And I want to challenge you guys really, whenever you see this video and you understand the principle, go apply it to yourself afterward, because you don't want to learn something here and not apply it after that. You want to practice and you want to be able to do it yourself. And if you have any question, you comment below. You let me know how I can help if it didn't work, and I'll make sure to help you out with that topic. So 4 hour chart, I'm here on AUDJPY. I'll go on the daily chart, let's say, to identify the trend. Now, what I'll do is I'll go back in time a little bit, because it's always easier to go back a little bit, practice, and then go to what we are at right now. So I'll go in time a little bit, and I'll say, okay, what do we do here? We have 4 options here. We could be sideways, we could be trending upward, trending downward, or doing random stuff, which we don't want to trade. So I'll look at that for every single kind of thing I see. And I'll go back in time to make it easier and to get some practice. So I'll say, okay, here I see we have this level. Okay, this is a support. We've been going sideways. We've had these highs. And I know now we look at this, but we'll go back in time over time. Then we'll make this breakout. Okay, uptrend, boom. Then we consolidate. Okay, sideways. Then we go a little bit above, false breakout, come back down. Oh, we go below this, downtrend. Simple as that. Came back to retest, consolidation a little bit. Oh, boom, breakout. So uptrend. Then came back to retest. Okay, and we don't look at like all the small moves, like this move here. We came back, this is downtrend. No, we just say, well, are we above or below the range? And that's going to help you determine what decision we have to take about the trend. So above, we make a high, we came back. And here, I just want to, because I didn't really talk about the principles. To have an uptrend, we need to have both higher highs and higher lows. Okay, that's something you hear all the time. But remember, you need to have both. If you have only one of them, it's not going to work. If we have a downtrend, we need to have lower lows and lower highs. Again, you hear this all the time, but you need to have both. Otherwise, it's not going to count. Okay, so really important here. There we go. Now keep in mind that we're on a higher time frame, so we are going to trade this on a lower time frame, and I'll show you exactly how after that. So we make a higher high here, we make a higher low at this level. Okay, we have both. So we are still trending upward. Now here's going to get different, okay? Because we make this kind of high, which is lower. But did we make a lower low? Not yet, okay? We have to wait till here, or even till we break this range to say, well, this is a downtrend. It's a downtrend right there. Now we keep going forward a little bit. We make this low. This low is lower, so still downtrend. This is kind of a high. And see what happens. We go above. So, oh, something's changing now. Well, given what we see right now, we cannot say it's a downtrend because we didn't have any lower low. Okay, we only have this low right here. So we have to say, well, it's kind of messy right now. We are still in a downtrend, technically, because we had this low right here, but we're not quite sure. We'll have to see if we go beyond that level. Okay, keep going forward. And that's where we are right now. Now, this is pretty simple. If you were to trade on this chart right here, I will not look at any trend trades. I would look basically at a reversal trade on that level, or kind of a continuation trade. And that's where really the part of having multiple time frames is going to confuse you a lot. Because you could look at this on a weekly chart, and I looked at it before. It's going to be kind of a clear uptrend, okay? We could draw like a type of trend line, which I don't really like to trade, but you could draw this and you could say, well, uptrend right here, okay? But you have to stick to what you see on the time frame. That's a little bit higher, not everything, because that's going to make it really confusing. I would here look more at a reversal of that level because we came back to retest. And that's going to be good for reversal traders. If you're only going to trade trends, not the perfect time for you. Okay, but I would go on this time frame right here, the forward chart, which we said we were going to trade. And I would look for sell opportunities right here. Okay, what is going to be with the Bollinger Band? And we talked about that multiple times before. I don't really like to talk about setup necessarily, but there's plenty of ways to go about it. The RSI, the Bollinger Band, any indicator that's going to help you trade reversals. So that being said, what happened if you were to take kind of the glasses of a day trader and try to look at this chart? Well, the day trader will be trading, let's say, on the 15-minute chart. After removing all the tools to make it easier, I would just go back on a higher time frame, like the 1-hour chart, to make it easier to look at the trend and to ensure that we have a better reliability of the trades we take. So with this, I will very easily say, like right here, we could look back and everything and see what happened, but I will say this is an uptrend, pretty simple, and we are in a consolidation right now. But let's just go back a little bit and show you guys how that happened. I would see this right here as kind of a range. It's kind of a downtrend, but kind of a range at the same time, because it's not really, we're not going back to the exact same level, but I see it myself with my highs as a sideways market. Until we broke out, here we make kind of a trend, okay, from this level right there, uptrend. Then we get here, we have both higher highs and higher lows, because the low we have is here, the other low is here. The high we have are here, here, and here. Okay, so higher highs, higher lows, uptrend. But then we go to break. And of course, the trend is going to end at some point. We cannot be in a trend forever, that's for sure. And your job is not going to be to define where we're going to stop the trend. Your job is just to trade with what you have. And if it stops, well, it stopped. That's it. You get to another pair or you look for something else on the same pair. Now we came back to this level. We broke down. So clearly when we have this right here, I would say, okay, now we are in a downtrend. Okay, we both have lower lows because we broke out of here, and we have lower highs. Keep in mind, we have a kind of a high here, another high here, and that's clearly lower highs. Now we make this point right here, still downtrend, until we break above. Whoa, we have something going on. It's no longer a downtrend because we break above the high. That's often how you're going to see that the trend reverse, is when we break above a high or a low, when we were in the opposite trend. So break above the high, possibly an uptrend, but we have to see what we get. Are we making higher highs and higher lows? We have this low, we have this low, we have this high, and we have this high. Oh, uptrend. Okay, that's pretty clear. And we keep making higher highs until we get to here and we consolidate a little bit. We're going back and forth, which is good if you want to kind of trade reversals. But when you want to trade trends, you have to look for a possible setup after that, like a pullback. like we had here. Okay, now I'll just extend this line a little bit because right after we came back to the same level. Still an uptrend for me, although we create a consolidation right here. Then, as we break out of this tight range, we keep getting in an uptrend. Price is going to go in a trend, it's going to consolidate, going to go back in a trend, possibly. Okay, and those trades are going to be very good because the trend lasted a long time. Break above these highs, still an uptrend. Depending on how you are looking at this, you might see the consolidation as being only this, or you might see it as being this right here. And there's no good answer. It's just how you see it. Okay, but once we break out of that, there's no longer any highs that we can kind of go beyond. So we are clearly in an uptrend right here. Uptrend, small consolidation right here. Okay, very good to trade sideways if you are trading sideways, or to wait for pullbacks, and then break out. Okay, clearly a trend, an uptrend, and then kind of consolidation, which is not very clear. Okay, a little bit, but not that great. Now keep in mind that you are trading on the 15-minute chart, not the 1-hour chart. So you would have to go back on this time frame. Once you've done this, let's say you come in, this is the morning that you are going to trade. You look at this, you say, well, okay, we're consolidating right now. What can I look for? In a consolidation, well, two things you can look for. Okay, let me just draw this for you. Price is going to go like this in a range. Okay, the range can be clear, can be not clear, but keep in mind that we were in an uptrend before. Okay, which means we have more chances of breaking out. Okay, that's kind of a law of a trend. But you could do both ways, and I'll show you guys exactly how. Either you trade the reversal trades, which are going to happen near the bottom of the range, or the high, but the high I would not recommend here because we are trading in a trend before. Okay, that's the first option, and that's the option I prefer myself. That's what I trade the most. Now the second option is going to be, well, you wait to trade the trend, and there are strategies for that. It's just going to be a matter of finding out where the trend is going, what we have, and you could trade basically the breakout, or you could wait for price to break out and come back. I'll put the video below on a strategy I have for breakouts with the RSI. Very simple and very high probability. If you want to check it out, it's going to be useful. But the other option is going to be pullbacks, and I don't trade pullbacks that much unless I'm going to be on multiple time frame, and I look for basically price going back to the same level, the same breakout level, and then having this reversal set up on a lower time frame. That's how I look at pullbacks. So the key message here is how you do it. Well, first of all, you look at the time frame you want to look at. Go on the higher time frame, okay, 1 or 2 time frame above. Then look at whether price making higher highs and higher lows, or lower lows and lower highs, or it's going to be sideways, or just messy and you don't trade. Okay, we have plenty of examples where it's messy and you don't want to trade there. Then once you've done that, identify all these like swings that you see in the past a little bit to get some practice and to get to the point where we are right now, because it can be tricky to go just right now and look at the chart and identify everything. That's really, really tough. So go back in time a little bit, practice until you get to where we are at right now, and then go on the right time frame to trade and look at what are the opportunities you have as a trader. All this makes sense. And as I said, go practice. Comment below with any issue or any question you have. I'll do my best to help and be supportive. And I'll see you guys tomorrow with a brand new video. Ciao.